Y'all know what time it is. It's Hot Mic Friday. What up, everybody? What up, what up, what up? Y'all know what time it is. Big shout out to everybody out there in the Shark Tank. Big shout out to all my people on the back street. Y'all know what time it is. Roll them up. I said roll them up, get that drink together. Sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hey. What's up? Let me give my quick shout outs right quick to my people out here. Big shout out to the Mad Doctor. What up, fam? Big shout out to Mr. John Denbury in the house. What up, fam? The one and only, my man, Mr. Vernon Starr in the house. Yo, my Cecil Jackson's in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out to K-Walks in the hills. What up, fam? Big shout out to my man, Mr. Derek Lockett. I see you, fam. And big shout out to the almighty one in the house. What up, fam? Okay. Tonight, we're going to be talking about, well, I'm going to talk about it. You know, Mo might change it up. But I had the American Pit Bull, the pros and cons. Now, I'm not talking necessarily about the dog. We have in this game, we have the pros, and then we're going to have your con artists. You know, and I speak on that because a lot of, you know, back in our time, and I mean, it's always, I'm pretty sure it has always been a situation. If you know the history, you know, you got some good people and then you have some bad people. You know, my thing about the two, both of them can bring you a lot of popularity. One for the good, other for the bad. And one thing I noticed, most of the people who were good people, took care of their business, put them on the pro side, they got a lot of action. But then you had them ones like Beeline, who were the cons, you know, and you know what happens when you get caught up. You know, once you get caught up, then that changes the outlook on how people look at you. And then it also makes them question everything that you had your hands in, which then that leaves like this long, what I would call shitty trail of people feeling a certain type of way about the business they done with you, the dogs that they got from you. They start looking at their yards all sideways. Some of them be so invested that they have to just deal with the situation and just, forget about, act like it never happened. I seen a lot of that in our years of these dogs. All the way down to the damn, person that come around and supposed to be taking your dog somewhere and dog don't never make it. Or some people who paid for a stub fee and ship their dog to somebody and never get the dog back. See, these are things that can hurt a camp. I mean, really. I mean, you ever want something so bad that you throw all the business out the door and you just, you go after them generally be them times that you find yourself getting burnt. The reason I talk about it because, again, if you don't talk about it, people might just think things are just fine, everything's just cool. And nobody really wants to ever touch the subject because it's not about you putting, you want to hurt nobody's feelings. But I'm always been a person who dealt with the business side of things. And it's not like when I hear things, I, coming through the grapevine that I ignore them. I never was one to pass rumors because sometimes, excuse me, sometimes you can, rumors can just be through, people just being haters. And then sometimes, you have to be the judge of what you want to believe and what you don't want to believe. I mean, I was always a person when I'm doing business with somebody, I always give them a chance to see how they act, even though I might know something about them or something I heard. I just don't come right out and just be like, well, I heard you. No, I don't get into that. Because sometimes, what you heard might not be true. And it can, a lot of that leads up to you spilling bad word and you just not, you just as bad as the person who started it. But y'all know when I talk, I'm always talking about how you deal with things in business and stuff like that. And it was kind of like my situation with this kennel here. Going hard, regardless of what they were doing and how Mo was moving dogs around and where they were supposed to go, I was responsible for taking care of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? If dog went somewhere, we wasn't keen on doing it by sending dogs nowhere. And if somebody were buying a dog and they needed to transport it, they was going to be responsible for their own transporter. I didn't pick a transporter that way. I always left it up to the person. If you buying this dog and you're going to be responsible for your transporter, you're fully responsible for the transporter and what he does. And I've seen occasions where that didn't work out right. Think about, you've heard us say this before, the person who bought Brat and Bebe and all them, in the end, they never received Brat. And I thought about that. That was a big loss for that person, but it was their transporter. So it's the situations like the shit. After her first destruction match, I think she was just became a one-time, maybe a two-time winner. And they were sending her off to be bred to somebody. And she never came back. They said she was dead, but never sent no pictures, no nothing. And then, when you can't even get a hold of a person and communication just stops, then you already know, there's a problem. But winds up, stories told, this shit wound up becoming a damn, I think 4-time winner or grand champion over in the Dominican Republic. And that was just based on somebody called who had seen this shit before and said, hey, this is bad little bitch down here and look like one of y'all dogs. Who? That little red bitch y'all had. Well, they didn't know we had sold the little red bitch. We was getting out of the dogs. But she wound up in Dominican Republic. And that's just go to show you, you can't, you got to know the difference between, and sometimes it just pay to pay for that trustworthiness. You know what I mean? If you pay for, if you pay shitty prices, or you're gonna probably get a shitty job. If you pay, get out of here. Pay for that, the prestige shit, you're probably gonna get a prestige job done. Come here. Hold on. Come here. Get out of here. Let's go. Get out. my little one always want to sit under my feet. Now the whole time I'm sitting there, she's shaking the table and everything, trying to get in my lap. But yeah, so to me, it's one of them things. If you have to pay attention all the way down to any transaction, whether it's buying a dog, stud fees, um, puppy peddling, things can get out of hand when it comes down to these dogs. I always believed in having an understanding of business dealing with these dogs because you have so much time and money invested into them that just that alone, shit, to me deserves the right type of attention. Because I was just reading seeing a couple bad experiences some people were having, and some of them sound, some of them be like some horror stories. You know what I mean? And that leave a bad taste in your mouth. Like even when it come down to people not letting people on their yard type of shit. I remember when we used to go to certain places and wind up riding around a little town maybe a whole hour before we would go to the spot. You know what I mean? But it used to be crazy to me because we used to just basically just not get caught in that crew, because if you're already in a little town and then you riding around this little town area for a whole hour, or you got them sitting somewhere and you got all these people sitting in one place, to me it just looked so obvious, and I just thought that was, that's kind of stupid. Just things like that, because I never thought it made sense to do things like that. It's not like we in the city. The city, you can, so many different ways to do it. But in them rural areas, and you got all these people. And then another thing used to trip me out was when we go to some of these outskirts of places, and you got this influx of maybe 100, 200 people that came to town. How do you know? Because the town didn't have but maybe 1 or 2 hotels in it. And what's the first thing people do? They always try to get a room close to where, the show is going to be. Which I thought, never thought like that. Next town over, and you take that extra ride. Hell, we done made it this far. Because it was just some things that just didn't make sense. It was almost like, you're waving, here we go, we over here, here we go, we over here. But it's just some of the funny things that being around these dogs in this game over the years that we have seen. And I don't look at, this pro and con is like the pro and con of the dogs, but the pros and cons, the literally pros and cons in this dog game. Like some of the other crazy shit seen. People, dog that was at the scale, it got washed, but wasn't the same dog that was in the match. Dog looked bigger and everything. But shit like that happens. How does shit like that happen? You would wonder, how? Nobody didn't say nothing. Well, these things happen when you're not taking care of your business. And these are one of the things that lead up to a bad situation, simply because you're so caught up in what you're doing that when by the time you realize what's going on, because if you're in the box, you're really concentrating on the dog, not really paying attention to what was happening over across from you. and it took people from the outside to have to tell you. And then you start looking at the referee, like, I mean, he was the one at the scale. He didn't notice, but what if he did notice? But it wasn't on him to put the other person on blast. It was actually on that one person who was doing all this by himself without no help, and it blew up. And then at that time he didn't really care. He was like, once it came out, he was like, he didn't care, so the process went on. I mean, thank God it turned out okay for the person that was happening to, but it's the fact that it was even possible to happen and how far it did go. Now think about the situation that was going on outside the whole event back in the day when the people on the outside was invested in that whole situation, and look, and all this is going on. You had an uproar, just total craziness. And I always felt like anywhere that you have to deal with, people not taking care of their business, most of the time there was going to be a problem. It was just a matter of how big that problem was once it got, the train fell off the track. You have to be aware all the way down to who you getting your medicine from, who you getting your dog food from, who you getting your advice from. I mean, all the things that I have watched over the years that come back and what hurt people in the end. Because some of these things can hurt you to the point to where there's no recovery. Like having your best friend steal your dog. Supposed to be your best friend, but you never really think, stuff getting hot over here, I'm going to go over here and put him on my boy yard. Then all of a sudden, 2 days later, everything you put over your boy's house is gone. Well, didn't nobody even know? Nobody knew that we moved the dogs over my boy's house. So think about it. You're doing this type of shit. Your boy know you got good dogs. To me, that left the door open for opportunity, because money will change a lot of people's mind, especially when it's the right amount of money. We wouldn't give a damn who it is. So, what used to be your friend, well, your friend was one of the biggest con men in the game. Oh, I never seen that coming. Or you always left doubt. I feel like anytime you had to doubt anything that anybody do, then you don't do business with them. If I have a funny feeling about you or something about a situation ain't right, I'm not one of them to try to make it work. I try to, leave it alone. Say you can't read a book by its cover. But guess what? If it don't be for the fact I'm sitting here holding the book and I'm looking at it, the first thing I got to get by to even be able to read what's in the damn book is get by what I can see for myself on the outside and the cover. And if that part don't arouse my interest or arouse me wanting to read the book, I'm going to pass on the book. And that's generally how you really do. I deal with business anyway, because if something don't, we negotiating or something and just don't write, or I'm there, or I see things that's going on that's not totally outside of what I'm doing, but I'm watching everything around me and how it's going on, I won't do it. I think more attention when you're dealing with people in this game, is so much better to understand the professional part of who you're doing business with, the professional part. Anytime there is money and an agreement and negotiation on pricing and exchanges for different things, those people have to be able to be on the same page. Those are like business deals to me that can fall, the bottom fall out simply because somebody not holding up to their part of the bargain. There's been so many horror stories when it comes down to these dogs, especially in this game. I mean, horror stories. And then you sit back and you think about, David Tance and how Tant used to do things back in the day. Well, if you notice, regardless of how crooked people might have said David Tant was, do you see how many people looked beyond that and still did business with him? Crazy that might sound. I mean, we never had to worry about doing any business with him, but that just takes me back to, even back there in our time, the horror stories, just trying to deal with it. But yet, regardless of how many people that knew those stories, still stopped people from doing business with him. Same thing when it came down to Beeline. When Beeline got cracked in the head, bad situation. But regardless of what the situation was, when he sold his dogs to someone else, just because he sold those dogs to someone else and they were in somebody else's hand, it was easier for people to forget about all the lies that Beeline may have told, all the breedings, take the, what they call it, the asterisk, take the asterisk off because so-and-so got him now. We don't have to worry about them. He got the dogs over there. I think that Midnight Cowboy was one of them dogs, even though his dog produced good dogs, but look how many people question any and everything that came off of Beeline's yards after the big lie. Was he a pro? Well, no. He was a con artist. And we have a lot of that in the game. The thing is, I would always tell people to be able to sit back and make your own decisions, not just based off of what people say, but the amount of work that you put into what you do to make them decisions for yourself. Now, it'd be different if I was talking to some kids. When it came down to making major decisions for my kids, even when it came to what college or school that they went to, going from junior high to high school, I would ask my children, but in the end, I knew I had the last say. And the reason I say that, because you always want to give somebody the opportunity to understand how they feel about a certain situation. But based on that situation, now that they're willing to discuss it with you, you have to make a decision on how you choose to deal with the situation, especially when it's between two people. And I always felt like that with my kids. I would always tell them, I give you an opportunity, to put yourself in the right position and to make the right decision. But until you get grown, that final decision always going to play on me. Because I felt like I needed to have the last so if anything went wrong, it was on me. If I let my kids start making those decisions, the decisions they make might have been a wrong decision, then I can't just throw it all on them. Especially when we're talking about it. Like kids are different because they go out and they do stupid shit, and that shit that you choose for, so you're gonna suffer them consequences. But when it came down to the major ones, like what school you was going to, or even down to your studies, I would never let my kids take easy classes. I always wanted to know what classes they're taking. I was one of them kind of dads. I was all over them because I wanted to get the best out of them so they really understood and, realized just how much success you have based off the amount of work that you put into what you're doing. And like dogs, I felt the same way about kids. If you start early, by the time they start growing up, there's a lot of conversations that you need to have because you had them early. So that left room for you to deal with more complicated conversations, more trust and more responsibility based on their actions, that we could get into grown folk conversations, because I'll be now expecting to see grown folk action out of them. Well, I felt the same thing about these dogs. When you coming up in this game and it's new to you and you first get your dogs, that's the beginning of a long road ahead, and it's always going to be based on how serious you are about it. And in that same road, you're going to be building, your own reputation. Are you going to build to be the pro, or are you going to build to be the con artist? Because at some point, it does happen. I don't think everybody comes into this game looking to con people. But in these days and times, this is not like back in the day when we were, let me see if I can find some here. When we were, had the journals and everybody out there selling dogs and doing stud fees. Only way you felt like you was gonna pay $2,000 for something back in 19. Imagine this. Hold on, let me show you this right quick. Let me just look at this right here. Look at this. Genetic International and Stud Service. All stud fees, ship sperm, $750. All pups, $500, include health certificates and crates. This is where the blood of the more successful kennels come from in the last 15 years, such as LA Dreams Team, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, Windy City, Show and Go, and others. The Hank Boomerang blend has been successful for 15 years and still going strong. Now, if you look, as I go down through here, let me show y'all something right quick. Now, y'all know some of these dogs. These are some damn good breedings back then. Now, this was in 1997. Look at this Vegas girl, Littermate the Champion Vegas. They selling the dog for $2,000. Back then, $2,000 was a lot of money, but and it's just a little mate to the champion. Now, how many people would have went out and bought the litter mate to that champion compared to how many people that wouldn't? And I'm gonna say, all right, she the litter mate sister to the champion, but she don't have, she cold. She's nothing like her sister. And would you go spend $2,000 for that dog? And it's nothing like the champion's sister. How many out there will go out and buy that dog for $2,000 with And I'm putting it out there knowing that it's nothing like the Little Maid's sister. And on top of that, she cold. Just by just me checking the chat. How many people would have went out and bought that dog for $2,000? I'm just gonna tell you my opinion. I'm just give y'all a chance to vote right quick. The reason I spoke on that, because back in the day, a lot of this was going on. And a lot of this had to do with why a lot of men start lying on their papers. You know, and because you would get the dog, and the dog got a Little Maid sister or brother off a champion so and so. People would go around that champion and go after a Little Maid brother or sister because it wasn't nothing about the accomplishment. They were more concerned about the blood. You know, there's a lot of people who would gamble like that. Damn, you know, I just want the blood because just in case it might wind up, you know what I mean, that what the other one, the cold one has, might be just what you need, you know, to kick the shit off into your yard. And to me, that made sense. But how many people were willing to make that investment to that degree? And that's where I always looked at how the con, you know, the con artists used to always get in. Because that type of advertisement for that $2,000, you might not have been getting the Little Maid's sister or brother to champion Vegas. You would have to go on that person's word to this is the Little Maid's sister to champion Vegas. These things really was happening back then, man. You really didn't know what the hell you was getting. See, this is why I always was like, you know, every chance we got, y'all trust me, we was gonna be on the road. We gonna go down there and see for our damn self. If you got champion Vegas on the yard, and you got this is the last Little Maid brother sister we got, I'm gonna have a better choice of looking at the dogs together to see at least they gotta have a whole lot of something in common if they came out of the same litter. And even then, that takes me back to you have to be the one to make the decision based on even your own eyes to say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? Now back here, this article was written in 1997. The power of pro and con is deep in this subject here in Texas and throughout the U.S. and the world at this time. Bill and I think it would be a real good time for the highlights of the novel to be published in your times. I would sure like for you to give some thought on it for your next issue. It fits into the world news on TV and prints throughout the world at this time. At the same time, it's so far out and cool. It will create a lot of pro and con interest that all will tie into American game dogs and us in the game. We been seen as people with a cause coming together with the power of numbers who have interests such as a brotherhood that stands alone. We've heard this story before, right? Remember, this is 1997. See, even then, through this little conversation, it was important that I get everybody, you know, and remember he said for the novels, you know, the novice people, you know, just if they, to have a conversation, it brings more knowledge to the community. That's what I did. I've kind of liked about the American Game Dog Times and even the Sport and Dog Journal, because there's so many different stories in these books and other people's opinions, how they felt about certain things. It was like an open forum, like y'all do on Facebook and stuff. So it's almost the same thing as these, but that was how we had our forum. Now you look at on the Facebook side of things, and all the different forums out there, and you have everybody had some type of input. When you got so much information and you're building what I consider like a blind relationship, these times and days for me, it's so much harder to do business, because most of the business that you do nowadays is going to be through social media and never face to face or business to business. And that leaves things a little shaky, sometimes. I deal with a lot of customers here in the state of Florida who own properties here, but they never been to the state of Florida. But they got their little office manager or somebody that handles their business here for them. So when things go wrong, suppose they mess up my money, or I didn't get my money when I'm supposed to get my money. See, I don't go after the office manager. That is his flunky. I mean, that's how I look at them. My business deal wasn't with the office manager. My business deal was with the owner. And it'd be at that point that me and the owner have to get into a negotiation process. And you know how when they be trying to con something, they're either too busy or something going on. But there's certain things that you can do, even in my business, that I know how to get your attention. Because most of the time when I'm writing a bill, the cost of what you owe me, I could get your property for the cost of what you owe me, just because you don't feel like you have time to fix the problem. But when you do put a lien on somebody's shit, that right there, that shakes them up. Now all of a sudden, all you had to do was help. No. See, we having the wrong conversation, because we way beyond that conversation right there. Don't waste your time with that conversation, because at this point in time, the conversation you need to be having is the fact that you pay what you owe with the interest that comes with it, and then I'll take care of you getting your shit back. Be hardcore about that. But to sit back and throw a middleman into that equation who don't have no power, they just running back telling somebody what I said. Well, I always feel like, no, I didn't get to that person by talking to you. They set me up with you because you are here. I don't need you at this point. I'm going to get back over here. See, to me, when you're in a certain position, it's always good to deal with the person that you're doing the business with. How you're doing it, what you're doing. I always felt that's the safest way of doing it. Because in this professional side of things and the con artist things, man, you got to be able to look at them real, real close nowadays. And how do we do that nowadays? With all the information out here, that's out here, look at all the ways that you can research a person and what I call vet. How's your vetting set up? Y'all gotta forgive me, because some of the easiest things that I be thinking, as time goes on, it's like I be struggling to understand words that I think I should know, and I think that comes with age. So for all my old folks out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. some of the simplest words, you got to go, damn, what's that word? What's that word? You know what I mean? But that, trust me, that comes with age. But to get back to what I was saying, yeah, that's what's important, because the vetting process can be your downfall if you ain't doing the right vetting process. And I know we always talk about pedigrees. We're always talking about understanding pedigrees. We're always talk about the people we do business with, the dog men, the ones who, handle their business. That's what I mean, good business is like, you don't have to pay for advertisement, because when you're doing good business, the word of mouth, is what takes care of you. I mean, word of mouth passes faster than any type of advertisement that you pay for me. Cause I'll do something for somebody else, and they'll walk into their office and they'll tell 10 other people. Out of them 10 other people, 3 or 4 I'm gonna call. And then think about they often to go back, and so that takes care of that office, and it takes care of a couple more families and a couple more of their friends. See, I always felt that's what good business does. It leaves a trail of good, happy customers. I'm doing business with somebody and I don't find enough happy customers, I don't do business. Now, with social media, we tie all that up into reading reviews. Like when you're trying to find a company that does something, you go out and you try to read reviews. But let me tell y'all something. In this day and age, that don't even, I don't put all my faith in that. And the reason I don't put my faith in that, because it is so many people and companies that pay for having them good reviews. And then the same companies be the same ones that have the most shittiest business, shitty business to deal with. So when you do have that person to get out there and tell you and try to warn you about their shadiness, they have them same people out there who they was paying for all those reviews that have the ability to go in and make them bad reviews disappear. See, this is why you can't even trust that avenue anymore, because these kind of things do happen. And I've been a part of social media as far as business, learning, and I'm trying to understand. And y'all very, 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 very seldomly see me on social media, because I'm a field person. I like being out in the field where the people at. I like to be on the job sites. I like to be around people. So by the time I get home, I don't have the time to get into social media like most people do. I would love to, but it's so many other things, so much I can do with that time that I don't have time to do that. But hopefully as time get on, and I start winding this shit down, I'll have a lot more time to stay on social media and do a whole lot more interaction. I think social media is good when you're using it in the right platform and you're trying to pursue a good business platform, and you really want to get people to see you and understand you as a person. As long as you don't take advantage of the situation and you have a good product, and you're fair and reasonable, yeah, I think social media is a great way of doing that. But in the same token, you can use social media as a con artist to drag people in. And again, there go those bad parts I was talking about. How do you know the difference? That's why I discuss it, because it's hard for you to know the difference if you're not familiar with what would make them different. I mean, I know what makes a professional a professional, and I know what makes a con artist a con artist. A con artist is, oh, they can make themselves look like they're professional. But in the same token, a professional person that's supposed to be a successful uh, professional person, they're going to create a professional code of conduct, history. They just didn't come in and become a good professional based on their work and their way of treating people and their pricing. They're going to create a trail that you can follow the trail. You can go back, reference the trail. You can go back and actually ask for references and actually pick up the phone and call these people. How were they to work with? How were they? I mean, people do it to me all the time. I have no problem with people checking on my credentials. Hit the Better Business Bureau. Get some damn references. Give them all that. People I've done work for. I don't have no problem doing that for people simply because I would do it. I think that's that one major factor that sometimes we get so caught up in social media and reviews that you be wondering how a person gets burnt or taken by a con artist or a transporter, came, got the dog, or even the person that the transporter is doing his business with. Remember, all this can lead to just a total bad experience all the way around the table. Y'all, if you're on social media, y'all seen some of the stories. I don't be on it that much, so for a little bit of time I get on there just to check on my family and then just see what's going on in the game. It just amazes me that some of the things that people have gone through and how easy it is for some people to take a stand on something that was, even though if it was one bad deal, that bad deal left a sour taste in the person's mouth. And I'm not, I'm one of them kind of believe, for me anyway, the customer is always right. That's for me. And see, the reason I put it in that kind of I use it like that is because as long as I'm trying to satisfy this customer based off of the only reason I'm dealing with this customer and they have a problem, it is my responsibility to jump in there and find out what went wrong and try to make that customer comfortable and happy. I don't want to have that bad apple out there, spreading bad news, behind something that I could have fixed. It's a lot of that out there. That's been out there for years and years, and just because it's social media doesn't change. There's just certain things that has a lasting effect. And when it comes down to these bulldogs, it could have a lasting, one bad deal could have a lasting effect on how you do business and how you treat people moving forward. And I would, for me, I think that's important because these dogs, man, people stealing, and then you look at somebody sideways because they don't want you on their yard. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about it. It's not about. The reason I'm so up in the air about it because I don't immediately read people from a bad point of view. I believe in giving a person, a shot, basically. Even with coming down to the house, man, people, there's guys that's been out here in this Shark Tank that have been out on social media that that happen to be in the area and call Twin, and I tell them to come on by. You know, my address is right there out there on my company Facebook. I mean, I run my business from home nowadays. I don't need a building. I don't need a whole bunch of shit around me. So it's not like I got anything to hide of. People can come right to my house. I will have to worry about people stealing my tools or shit like that. Not, I got all the right shit around me. I got my dogs. I got my cameras. To me, that's, I don't know. I just think that's just the proper way of doing things. Anytime you got to be, to the point to where you can't trust people. I mean, I don't think that's you can handle. I just don't think it's professional. You can be a professional and know how to handle people without disrespecting people. And I think it's a disrespect to put everybody in the con artist category. See, to be labeled a con artist, you would have to do something that makes people question the business that you do at some point in time. It only takes one person to get that kind of shit started, but then, all right, we might be able to look beyond one. But what when you got about 5, 6, 7, 8 people? Now this is why, as cool as we was with Victor and everybody, and with Victor, remember when we was, we had 11, I think Mo was saying about 11 to 13 people who had bred the Mayday before Mayday left, and they didn't have no puppies. Maybe 1 or 2 people saying that might have been cool. But being that everybody knew our relationship with Victor, they kind of was like, hey, did such and such, such and such, and when you get that list of, you be like, well, now he back in Ecuador, he's back to producing. Well, maybe the timing changing and Victor's condition, everything might have changed and everything would have went back to normal. But it's hard to be trying to convince other people about that situation when it happened to them. And they're calling, I can't co-sign for Victor in that type of manner because remember, Victor had our dog and took care of her and then, sent her back with being pregnant. So, what can I say for the other accusations that other people felt like they were saying? I wasn't going to shit on Victor about it. But it was always one of them situations to where, you do know that there's a couple people here you got collect stuff fees on, didn't get nothing. And I mean, it's a couple. And I'm talking about more than just one. And being we was out there, why wouldn't you call, what's the first thing they're going to do? Call Twin. Twin know him. Well, yeah. But I don't, all I can do is say, I trust him well enough to send my shit over there with him. Mo was adamant about it. I had other friends that dealt with him. So those are the things that I be saying about, okay, got to weigh how to deal with a situation like that. How would you deal with a situation like that? Would you throw your boy under the bus? Or would you just actually put it out there? Like, we put it out there. We trusted him enough to take our dog with him. And that's a champion dog. So it was right off of him. Will we ever see her again? Type of situation. Yeah, we trusted him enough to do that. So that's where our conversation in on that matter. I can only tell you that there was a lot of people that read to him Mayday and didn't get anything. How do I know? Because them people were inquiring through us. Like, I would inquire if I'm trying to figure out something that went wrong with somebody, and I would call, hey, I had so and so do some work on me, and it was pretty much the same kind of work that he did for you. How did that turn out? They'd either say it turned out good, or they would tell you, well, this, and this what happened. Why you ask? He did some work for you? Yeah, and the same thing happened. Oh, okay. So we already put them two and two together, and we know there's some shit in the game. Either he don't know what he doing, or he just going around taking people's money. See, that's one thing about doing business in most states. Once you get licensed, the last thing you want to do is like having your drivers, as a contractor, or even an insurance license. Any one of them licenses that I do something wrong, or I treat people a certain type of way, or I lie to them and take their money, I'm either going to be a professional, because these people who have these licenses, who give us these licenses that we have to pay for to do the work we do, they have control over that con artist shit. And you will be charged, and some of them charges can lead to criminal charges that you would find yourself doing some serious time. Because it's not just going to be a civil matter. A civil matter in this construction, in this insurance business, can and will lead to criminal charges, especially based off of how you were doing business. So I weigh on that shit kind of hard, fellas, because if you look at Facebook, and you kind of got a feel for some people who, they took that L. And I really do be feeling for them. But then, I go back to, didn't dot all the I's and didn't cross all the T's. Because that one got by you. Especially when I see a couple more people saying the same thing. I'm bringing that up to keep y'all aware of these type of situations, because I hate to see people find themselves in them type of situations, and it's a black eye to the game, first of all, and it's a loss to somebody that probably was working hard, and they putting their time and effort into something, and they believed in you well enough to be able to give you and look for you to come through, and you don't come through. I mean, that's just bad business, man. And bad business leaves terrible taste in your mouth. And that's how I feel like, like this community as a whole. In that little article, it was just showing you about the pro and the con, and how it can affect in the American Pit Bull Terrier community. That's why it's a good way to get out there and set up a platform to talk about this, because information based, always leads to a reference, where you have something to reference to. You don't have to go to over here to here. You got a center point. What they were trying to do, they was trying to create a center point, like a storyline, just an article where everybody had their input on the pros and the cons and the do's and the don'ts, where the novice person could come back and learn from there. See, that's Same thing I would be when I be telling y'all, hey, y'all need to go out and buy Fat Bill, all his books, get schoolboy shit, get as many sport and dog journals because they are very interesting reading. But you get a whole lot of different point of views from a lot of people. I think that's just a part of just the more information you have in this game, the better dog person you're going to be. The better dogs you're going to be able to have. Because again, we all started out, you know, in that class of dummy, American Pit Bull dummy class 101. But time takes care of the dumb shit. But it's important to be able to get in the right mind frame. And when I say that mind frame, not everybody can be dedicated to these dogs like some of us can. You know, some of us gonna be, you know, 10 toes down when it comes to dealing with these dogs. All the, you know, doing your warming, making sure they got the medicine. I mean, all the things when you say he a good dog, man. I mean, you can pick up the phone, hey, this is such, 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 and they come right in and help you out. That's a good dog, man. That's a good dog, man. Because he's doing everything based on his knowledge and what he can do to help you, and then what he can't help you with, he can turn you on to other people can do it. To me, that's a good dog, man. No, I never really took um, like when Pro was doing his thing. I always thought Pro had everything going right for him when he was doing the interviews and he was sharpening up on his knowledge. My downfall, well, I think for me, his downfall came that when you start talking shit on real dog people, but you didn't tell, you know, you're not telling your audience that you've never done this shit before. So how can a person who have never done that sit here and talk down on somebody who has done something, you know, regardless of what it was? I was never going to be a fan of that. You know, then, you know, people have to understand this social media shit is almost like if you look at this election shit. You know, we're going to be voting in 44 to 45 days. If you sit there and you just constantly watch all the news, ABC, NBC, CNN, I mean Fox, just, and you sit back and you're watching all of that drama going on. I mean, admit it now. When it's the election time in the year, you know, and this not just for just my part of the country, this is everybody in the country. You know, the police start cracking down on shit, you know, everything. Everybody try to act like they all concerned because they want that vote. You notice that? Every election year, you know, everything seemed to be like, we need to get this right, we need to have this right, we need to do all this. When, you know, prior to that election year coming around, you know, wasn't nobody acting, you know, you couldn't get anybody to pay attention to what you're saying. But when that, you know, that election year come in, you're gonna see a whole lot of shit changing because everybody wants that vote. And based on you having to vote for something, but you watching all this stuff that's going on. To me, I think it's one of the most scariest times in America because of all the different views. You know, some people say some things that I can't believe. I mean, where you been living under a rock somewhere? You know, some things can be said that just seem so over the top. But then you gotta wait for somebody to do some fact checking, you know, like fact checking, you know. That's that new thing. We fact checking. Well, what if we was to be fact checking in the Bulldog game? Like they be out here fact checking something that everybody say, because you know this community right here, they'll fact check your ass too. We seen what fact checking does. You know what I mean? It causes a lot of damn problems. Same way you do out there in the election world. Same thing that happens over here. Because now you don't brought up something that everybody didn't know, but now all of a sudden now everybody you want to get mad. You know, right? Because you ain't want nobody to know. Well, you run around here running your mouth. You know, you trying to be something, you all that. Then you know, like there's nothing that we have talked about since we had our show that we wasn't trying to be truthful about. I mean, there's just nothing. All the way down to our losses. Don't have to talk about being somewhere. No, we talk about shit that we know. You know how we try to keep that on that shit that we know for ourselves. We know these people. And about what I heard, no, it's what we know these people. We've talked to these people. We've been to these people's houses. We've followed these people's work. This is what drew us to these people's work. Give y'all the whole insight of why these people right here. Give you an understanding of some of the things that they showed us, because if it makes sense to us, maybe we can get it to make sense to you, because the way it was brought to us, how we utilize it and how it worked out for us, because that's trial and error and experience. That's generally how this is supposed to work. You know, that's why we don't have no problems dealing with that part. But the problem is the con part. When you can't tell the difference between the professional and the con artist, is what makes this American Pit Bull Terrier game controversial. Because how do you know the difference? What can we offer you to where you can understand how to know the difference? See, all I can do in this having this conversation is give you something to think about. Like, damn. Some of you might be like, well, this is why I don't do this, and this is why I don't do that, and this was why I don't, you know, talk to him or talk to them, or what's the name did this, or what's the name did that. You know, some people can have those type of conversations. But those will be individual experience conversations. You see, I'm trying to enlighten that part of the game, because we all see it so much. The way you have to be open to sit back, not say nothing, but just watch. And remember all I said. Controversy and drama is always going to bring videos and attention. But these type of conversations here, what you get out of these type of conversations here is what you choose to take out of it. When you're dealing with controversy and drama, I mean, it's like going to the movies. You know, did anybody remind these people this is a fictional story? So when you see the person that's out, the actor that's out in the street, you get mad at that person because the role that he plays in a movie, I mean, you took that so far that you treat him like, you don't even call him their real name. You call him the character name. And be out there cussing them out. You seen them types of shit? See, those are things that really do happen. There are people who really think like that, to go that far. Now, I'm not here to knock people who do that. I'm just saying this is what you have to deal with when it comes down to the seriousness of the American Pit Bull Terrier community. Not only do we deal with this same shit in this community, but even in my business community, whether it be the insurance part of it or the construction contracting, the contractor part of it, based on my skilled trade. But it's still going to boil back to me of how I deal with all of this. And then what do I do to try to make things better? Well, me personally, I talk to people. I talk to, one thing I always tell my customers, they tell me about their bad experiences. And I never talk down on no other company, regardless of how bad the experience is. Or they might, hey, Mike, you ever heard of so-and-so? I say, yeah, I've heard them. They've been around some years. Well, I had them out here before I called you. Somebody else told me you did some work for them. That's why I'm calling you. But let me tell you what they did. Those type of situations. I'll never come back and say, well, I heard, yeah, well, they've been known for that. I don't do that type of shit. I just sit back and I hear the story, and I move on. Never got into bashing other company. I always felt that makes me look bad to do that type of shit. I bash another company, regardless of which one I'm working in the insurance side, I'm still dealing with people. If I always thought that's just not a good look to be talking about other people in your trade. Never openly, I might sit around here, my house, or between me and my wife, or me and my brother, but never with a customer. I just think that's just bad business, first of all. I'm going to go around, come around. I feel the same thing about these dogs. Same way. I'm not going to talk down on another man to another man. If me and this person had a relationship doing something and he didn't come through right, I'm not going to talk down on him. I'm going to just tell him that I did business with him and this is what happened. So that didn't turn out good. No, it didn't. That's not talking down on shit. That's me telling you this is what happened, and maybe that portion right there might be one of the reasons why you don't do business with him, but then you might have talked to somebody else to say some good things about him. Either way, it's still going to be on you to deal with that. But then that's what that situation is all about. I've had business with you and we had done something together and it didn't turn out right. And my partner or my friend or somebody want me to co-sign for that person, I'm going to be straight up honest with them. If it didn't turn out right, it didn't turn out right. Because what good am I doing to somebody who's looking for a reference for me and I co-sign on you to do something knowing that you do people wrong? What you think how my friend gonna look at me? And I'm the one who co-signed for you. No. Don't do business like that, fam. That ain't putting nobody down. That's just keeping business. Man, ain't no friends in business. Ain't supposed to be no friends in business. There are mutual agreements that everybody agrees to and responsible when it comes down to understanding the scope of the work and your responsibility of completing that job. Because they're getting something they need out of it and I'm getting paid for doing it. That's business. That ain't no damn friendship. I can still hate you as a friend and still do business with you. And I think in this game here, we need to understand the difference between the two. You have to be able to understand what professional look like and what a con artist look like. Because they ain't supposed to be nowhere close on the same level. Nowhere close. It's supposed to be able to be obvious. But only reason it's going to be obvious to most of us is because you have to have some type of knowledge of what professional looks like. So you can clearly understand what a con artist looks like and does. So that's how I wanted to, I mean, that's what all I wanted to say about the situation. You know what I mean? When it comes down to this, even dealing with people and these dogs, because there's so many avenues when it comes to the money part of this game. You know, the money, the things people would do for the money. Some of it is not going to be right. Some of it going to be on point. You got what you wanted. You're happy with what you got because you put your work in it and you expect to get what you pay for. That's the part of the business. That's the part of the dogs. That's the part of the community that we seem to have lost over the years because of so much of the con artists. That right there, especially for a person like me, because give down what you people might think say. I know business. I never said I would ever try to be a Donald Trump or try to be like Puff Daddy and all them other mom. No, I'm at an age now, and I've had done so much in life, and unlike a lot of people, I didn't have to worry about somebody, controlling my paycheck. I think things are different. You know, at least for me anyway, because I didn't have that. I had to be able to get up every morning, 6, 7 o'clock, deal with dogs, deal with kids, and then go deal with my job. Because if I don't take care of my job, my responsibilities, I'm not guaranteed to get any damn money. Where all some people have to do is get up and go give somebody 8 hours and 10 years of their life, and all of a sudden they have control over how much money you make, how much growth you have, and still be able to fire you. I never got into that part of this thing called life. And then again, I was always having fun, so I could never have a regular job anyway, considering that I like to travel. I like to go places. I like to go meet people. I like to do those type of things. When you spend your whole life doing all of that, there's a time in your life where you have to stop and slow down and realize you can't do them things anymore. But that don't mean I can't share that part with y'all, because see, I know what that part of the life is like. I've done it. Actually done it for years. So the information that I share with you, trust me, it's going to be based on my experience, my knowledge, my ability to be able to comprehend what I'm saying and try to get you guys to understand exactly what I'm saying, and hopefully somewhere in there that you be able to fix them glitches that you might have in your own program. Because that's what it actually boils down to, because I always keep taking you back. When it all fall apart, regardless of what the situation is, the man who has to make the decision is where all the burden gonna fall on. Give a damn how you look at this shit. In any business transaction, if the bottom fall out, regardless of who caused it to fall out, you have to be able to deal with the outcome and fix it. That's business. And no, it's not easy. It's like raising these dogs ain't easy. The responsibility that comes with it is not easy. I always say this game ain't for everybody. And I mean that because in every business, in every type of business, and even in, as an employee, and or your regardless of what your profession is that you do and how high in the company or how long you've been there, it's always going to boil down to your ability to coexist and be able to find how you work out in that environment to where you can be able to survive. I mean, how many times we sit down and have that type of conversation? We can always talk about the shit the city people do. But who do you blame? Do you blame the community? Because I hear a lot of people blaming the community. Oh, this pitbull community ain't shit. Well, maybe that might be true if that's what, for some people. Yeah, we've had hard times in this community, but I can truly tell you, why would I stay in something damn near 30, 40 years of my life if it was that bad? I wouldn't have. Look at all the people that we talk about. What if, regardless of what they did in their personal life, I can't tell you what 90% of them did in their personal life. I wouldn't know. But in their dog relationships in business, I can truly tell you, hell of a dog man over there. How do you know, Twin? That's one of my mentors. That's one of the person I respect and looked up to. Gave me a whole bunch of information. Was there when I needed them. You know what I mean? With any time it was willing to help me. Yeah, I can speak for them. I can only speak for myself and them. I can't speak for them and anybody else. But I'm gonna tell you my experience with them. And we've dealt with enough people out here in this damn game. Regardless of what people might say or think, I still ain't heard one person come back and ever say that we fucked over them. No. Because you won't. You'll hear people talk about how maybe we act or how crazy we might be. But you're never going to hear nobody tell you that we ever took from them or mistreated them in any type of way. You know how that works. You don't get a reputation by doing bad to people. You get a reputation by doing good to people to be successful. I can say that and stand on that because what do you think? If the people weren't being good to us, they didn't have to say shit or share shit or do anything or give us the chance to breathe and do all the shit that we were able to do if we wasn't good people. Don't have to second guess us. They open their doors and I don't worry about them. Good business. We've done good business together. That's where I be at. So the game ain't responsible for everybody who do business in it. It's up to the fraternity to weed them out and put them people in their proper category. But the world, again, the world ain't built the same for some that it is for others. But regardless of those points, we still have to live in it. And that's just the way this dog game work. Nobody said it was all peaches and cream. Yeah, like anything else in life, and every other sport or activity you in, it's gonna have some shit in it. But how you navigate through the bullshit is the same way you have to navigate through life. Them obstacles, them type of people, them type of experiences, them type of everything is part of life. You better figure out how to. And how to come out on the other end smelling like roses. Or you're going to be one of them that coming out smelling like shit and trying to defend that shitty smell that we smell. Because that's how I feel about the con artists. I smell shit. You have to be able to understand the business well enough to understand how to tell the difference between the two. Y'all know what I'm saying. Let me get out here and see what's happening out here with everybody. I want to give a big shout out to, hold on, let me go down through here. Jackson. The Insane Honey Badger. Yo, what up, fam? My man, Mr. Robert 2. What up, man? My man, Robert 2. Tootie. That's it. Toodle. He said, most dog men are the equivalent of used car salesmen wanting the most money for the least amount of production. There are good ones and there are bad ones. You're right, Robert. That just fits into what I was saying. How you got to be able to tell the difference between the two, man. And one thing, I never felt like, and I tell people this all the time, at least my customers, I never consider myself a salesman. Never. Even though, it might sound like a salesman, but I never tried to be a salesman. Generally, when you call me, it's like me going, when I go to a doctor, I'm going to this doctor because I need some help. You're supposed to be skilled enough and able to tell me what's wrong with me and tell me what I can do to feel better. And that's how I think, I look at my customers like when they call me, they need my services, they need my experience, they need my knowledge, and they're trusting in me to come in and give them some advice. Help them out of their situation, even maybe fix things where they're going to be okay. I don't come in unless they ask for references. I don't come in and try to say, I've been doing this. I don't do none of that. Why? Because I'm not a salesperson. I'm more like your doctor. Whatever made you pick up that phone, whoever or whatever you seen that made you dial that number into what that got you over here to me, I felt like I don't have to sell myself on you then. All I'm trying to do is find out how can I help you. Tell me what your problem is. Let me come out and take a look. This is what you need. This is what it's going to cost. And this is what I'm guaranteeing when I'm done. One job done and I move on. And maybe that's because I don't look at this job or my job as a salesperson. Maybe if I was to learn a little bit about sales, I could probably sell people, be a good salesman. I always thought the best way to be the best salesman and a good salesman is be an honest salesman and sell a good product. Because I think a good product will sell itself. That's what I feel about that part. So I come to me having to deal with a salesman who's trying to basically sell me on something. I know what I'm looking to hear. I know what I'm looking to see. And I feel like I'm dealing with a salesman who's just trying to sell me some shit. You get phone calls me being in my position, I get phone calls with people always trying to sell me shit. And the worst thing you can do is tell me what you can do and how you can do it. And you ain't never done it before. You just a salesperson. Let me get you a hold of somebody else who do the work. Maybe that's the person that should have been calling me. Because that right there is an immediate turnoff for me. And I tell them that. How long you been doing this? I've been selling this product for this long. Okay. How's that been working out for you? You know what I'm saying? But you got to be able to get in there and understand the small things that I'm saying, because I'm really trying to tell you how to stop a bunch of the bullshit and cut through all the bullshit. Because once you get your hands of dealing with the right people, see, this is why I always feel like, you know what? When you treat people right and you do good work, guess what? Then people don't have to go look nowhere else for what they want. I might be there to work on that commercial freezer. I work on all commercial equipment, refrigeration, big stoves, coat tables, all that. But because they'll look on my card and see, dang, he air conditioning down. Well, call Mike. I know Mike does air conditioning too. He a contractor. They ain't have to go grab their book. They ain't gonna have to go online and go searching some shit, because they already know Mike did this already, and I see he do that. Get him on the phone. Tell him to come over and take a look at this shit. That's good business. Same shit works the same way with the dogs and any other type of business. Your word and your product will always speak to your success. Your lack of knowledge of doing business will always lead to your downfall. That's why we had a conversation. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, hold on. I did say that and saying Honey Badger. And big shout out to Robert Tootle. I'm glad you're listening, because you hit that right on the point. That's what I've been trying to say. Milktown Kennels in the house. What up, fam? The one and only Green Team. I see you, fam. My man Bulldog Jones in the house. What up, fam? Ken 6 Yoda. I see you, fam. Lost Hill Kennel Head. Salute 20. Salute 205. My man Double M Tesbo in the house. What up, fam? The one and only Borderland Kennels Breezy. What up, fam? My man Vito Rashad. I see you, fam. Big shout out to the 614. Yes, sir. 614 Tree in the house. What up, fam? Big shout out to the one and only my man, Mr. Dickie Foster in the house. What up, fam? Who is that? Magnificent 12782 in the house. What up, fam? I hope I got that right, because I'm just putting it the way, like, yeah, I think that's Magnificent. 12782 in the house. What up, fam? But let me see here. I don't know if I forgot my man, Mr. Cecil Jackson. I think if I missed you, Cecil, what up, fam? Hey, but look here, fellas, do me a favor. Y'all don't forget to hit that like button. I wasn't trying to be here all night. You know, Mo, I told y'all sometimes Mo have he had his testing today. So he's just still in good hands. But I told him I'm gonna show up anyway. And when I show up, I'm not putting out no damn pedigrees and nothing else. So we might have a short night tonight. My point is, you know, coming to the heart of a whole bunch of the controversial bullshit that I see going on. You know, to me, I'm not here to talk about what you do in these dogs and how you do what you do in these dogs. This is not the point. There's so much whether that you can do with these dogs. How about the person that sells collars and the dog food? I mean, all the different things that come with dealing with these dogs. No, this is not having to do with what you do and how you do it when it comes down to these dogs. I'm trying to get this point across of people being able to understand what a professional and a con artist is. Because they're going to be them in any type of business that you do. I'm just addressing, because of all the controversy, because of all the drama, how do you know the difference between the two? The professional and the con artist. How do you know the difference? Well, I just told you how. Tighten up on your business. Tighten up on your knowledge. Tighten up on your experience and your willingness to understand what it actually takes to do business. Get a better understanding of that. Trust me when I tell you this. As a head of any company, when that ladder that goes so far up, and when the shit start falling apart, you notice when something big collapses, the journey shakes at the foundation, right? But when it starts coming down and you looking up at it, when it starts coming down and you look up, you start seeing you ain't paying attention to what's going on the bottom. You're watching it from up here, watching it shit just fall. Like, dang, look at it. Even when they demo in the building, you don't be looking at what's going on the ground. You always got your head up, and then you're watching the whole thing fall. Because that's what business looks like when it starts crumbling and falling apart. All the bullshit that really got it falling actually really started at the bottom. But the bullshit went on for so long that when you start looking up at it and when it starts falling apart, you're watching it fall from top down. But really, the reason it's going from top down because that's how the bullshit started. Because when it was up here, it was a whole lot closer to the bottom when the bullshit was going on. But you've been getting away with the bullshit so long that you got up here. But when the bullshit catch up with you, it's going to be basically based off the shit that you started down here. And when it gets to moving around and getting all fucked up and the bottom falls out from under it, it crashes. And that's how I feel about understanding the difference between a professional and a con artist. Professionals always going to feel like, a good professional, based on what they do, is always going to try to satisfy the customer based on what what they have to offer and their ability to succeed in giving you what you want, the customer. That's the professional. The con artists are actually try to do the same thing, but guess what? The product over here and the professional offering you, how much is he willing to stand behind his work? What is it that makes me want to even go with you? The product. The con artist, if he's the con artist, you're going to smell the shit. What's the easiest way to smell some shit? How long you been doing this? Can I get some references? Because if I know what I'm looking for, like, I'm not even going to talk about cars because even though I can fix cars, I'm gonna talk about something I know. I am I'm a licensed contractor. Uh, we call it air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration contractor. Air conditioning is a big thing here in the state of Florida. There's a whole lot of AC manufacturers out there, a whole lot of them. In order for me to feel comfortable about what I'm selling my customer, right, I have to be able to just say, okay, who has the best system based on me? Customers, they want me to make that decision for them. They might say, well, I like Train. Well, you might like Train, but guess what? I don't like Train. Well, why, Mike? And I'll tell them why I don't like Train. And I will show them in my guarantee, look, I put these type of systems in, and I give them a 5-year labor warranty where the average installation company only gives a year warranty. I give a 5-year warranty based on this system here. That Train won't get but that regular year warranty, labor warranty, something that we're required to do. There's 5 years based on this system over here. You don't have to pay nothing extra for that. But because you want me to put that in, I'll put that in, but I won't give it that 5-year labor warranty. You get a year labor warranty because I know if something goes wrong with it, the factory's going to pay me to come out and fix it. There's a difference. Because I do what I do, I know the quality of the manufacturer, what works over the many years that when I put my tag on what that factory has done is because it has performed for me. Not just because of the cost. I'm talking about the quality. There are certain things that make me put my name on that right there, even though I didn't make it. But this is what I'm going to tell you. This is what I'm trying to give you. I know what you want, but I don't. You can have that. You're actually gonna spend a little bit of money for that than this over here. But this over here, you're gonna get. To me, I feel like you're gonna get better quality. You're fixing to definitely get the warranty. The warranty, you know, and don't have to pay nothing extra for it. But then they're gonna go with me. Well, you're the one doing it. I trust you. We're gonna, you know, they're gonna get off of what they want and they're gonna go with me. Everything up to that point right there, when it's all said and done, it's a waiting game now. Work is done. They might not hear from me for the next 15 to 20 years. And for as long as I've been doing this, they definitely get beyond that 5-year mark. Factories only putting 10 years on the average AC system nowadays as far as the parts, 1 year on labor. So that tells you I'm a believer in the product. And I'm not trying to sell them nothing but my experience. And I'm not doing that as a salesman. I'm doing that as a person who's trying to fix a problem that you have. Right now, you need an air conditioning system replaced. This is what I'm using. This is why I'm using it. No, that factory don't pay me no money to say and do what I do. I leave the door open. I can do that for any one of them out there. It's just them certain ones I prefer because they do make things better than others. Same thing, same way. I could put the dog scenario in the same category, same situation. There's certain people out here that do this shit that they do and show you this is their work. This is how long they've been putting in that work. This is the kind of dogs they out there putting out there. Why are you out here dealing with something that ain't like that? My brother sits in his chair, I don't know, for at least for the last 3 shows and been trying to hammer something home on a consistent basis. And it might be, the subject might be different, but his goal of what he's trying to say is always still being the same thing. Look at what he's been trying to show you. Now, some people, they might not see shit like that. That's not the purpose of why we have these conversations. That's not the purpose of why I'm having this conversation, is because of all the controversy and the drama that surrounds getting views and likes and doing business, serious business that has to pertain to the community that I share all these years with, and get that information out there that it's not about nothing except for you, the individual who's doing the business. Because when it all comes down to it, you were the one that made the choice. You were the one that was sold on the bullshit. Take responsibility for that first. Because once you can accept the responsibility for your own fuck-ups, you learn from your mistakes and you get better. That you will eventually know the difference between professional and con artists. The pros and the cons. And it don't have nothing to do with the dog. The pros and the cons for me is all about the man and the person that you do business with, because you have to make that choice as an individual. What's the difference between the pro and the con? If you don't know that, then you, guess what? I'm trying to help you now by telling you, look, this is what you got to look for. Just that simple. In your everyday life, you should have to be making very detrimental decisions all the way down to what gas station you got to go to because you getting low on gas. I know you usually go to the one down by the house, but you thought you had enough over there. But do you use Circle K, or do you use Amco or Marathon? I mean, or Shell? I mean, do you have a certain purpose, a preference? Now, based on that preference, are you going to be forced to use 7-Eleven or Circle K gas? You know how that works. Still, you got to make the choice, because it ain't no Shell right here. Are you forced to have to go buy something that you're not used to buying because of where the situation you in? Yeah, that's understandable. You don't want to be out here stuck on the road because you ran out of gas and you could have just went over to Circle K. You dump $4 or $5 in to get you to your next destination, at least to the closest Shell station. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. When you got people out here actually making some of these dumbass mistakes and supposed to know everything, but when the shit hit the fan, is always ready to talk about somebody, always ready to throw somebody else under the bus. When the reality of it is listen to who the one doing the talking. You've been around that shit long enough to, how in the hell do you get burnt? Or why is, why you get that tag of, a salesman? You know how we all talk like my man Tootle was talking about. Y'all know, that salesman, that's a hell of a used car salesman is the worstest kind. That's been a little called a subliminal message, that should resonate throughout the whole corporate sales business. They always say you sound like a used car salesman. For a person who never went to a used car salesman, you wouldn't know what the used car salesman sounds like. But you have to kind of understand what a used car salesman is selling you. He's selling you a used car. Come on, man. He didn't manufacture that car. 9 times out of 10, he don't even know nothing about that car. All he's trying to do is sell it to you. Which means he's going to say any and everything and And 9 times out of 10, he ain't gonna tell you everything. That's why you got the Carfaxes out here, all the different shit to help people make decisions with. We don't have a Carfax for American Pit Bull dog men. We don't. All you have is word of mouth. The ability to know the difference of pro and con, I'm telling y'all, is going to always be based on experience. The better you get at it, the more knowledgeable you become. You'll be able to smell that con from a mile away. You'll be able to just sit there and listen for a couple seconds or even minutes and be, I smell shit. You'll know it. There's a whole lot of old schoolers that sit out there and will tell you based on a person's conversation, no, he ain't been in the game long. I listen to some of the shit he say, no, you don't know enough. When you've been around this shit as long as, some of us have, there's a whole lot of shit that we can tell the difference. We can tell the difference. And some of us won't, some of them, the ones I know, they're not going to expose you. They just keep it to themselves. But, we, on the other hand, don't start no shit, won't be no shit. That's how we always felt about it. But we always know the profession is always going to outweigh that con. You might be able to talk your way into getting into the NBA, but when it actually come down to playing the game, guess what? Reality gonna step in and find yourself right back out. You talk your way in, but you didn't have what it took to stay up there. And that's the way this game works. It's not about how fast you talk. It's not about what the damn paper look like. It's going to be about the person that you're dealing with. Every transaction that I know of always going to start between a group of individuals, and that group of individuals can be 2 people. Or a group of people representing one certain transaction where they all have to come together, because when it comes down to an agreement, it only takes 2 people. And to me, experience is always going to keep you away from the con. Because he's there to do one thing and one thing only. A con artist is there to take your money. Con artist is there to take something from you. Take something. Because that means he's getting something in return. He's giving you some bullshit, but he's getting something in return. A professional person, you're going to know what they're trying to give you. Because that's what I try to sit here and do every time we do a show. We're trying to give you something that's going to help you. Not looking for nothing in return, but hit the like button. I ain't trying to sell you no puppies. I ain't trying to sell you no dogs. I ain't trying to sell you no books. But out here trying to give you knowledge of our experience when it came to dealing with these American Pit Bull Terriers on the level that we dealt with them on. That's why we can name all the people, because all these people, we want you to go look and say, go look who they are. Go look. Their professional experience speaks for itself. And again, don't get me wrong. I never, ever got into what none of my dog people did in their personal life. Even if I knew, it ain't nobody else's business but ours. But when it comes down to these dogs, total different experience. So what some people might know about other people, I don't get into that and don't really care. Never was one. That kind of shit don't shake me. That kind of shit don't put food on my table. That kind of shit don't run my business. Gotta remember, I'm one of them kind of people to believe I run my business. People don't tell me how to run my business. That's like somebody trying to tell you how to run your house. How stupid does that sound? That's like somebody telling you how to talk to them in your house.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. You worry. You know how to talk to them in your house. You don't like the way I'm talking to you in my house, get out of my house. I mean, these are just scenarios, but gentlemen, this is how serious I take this shit. And I try to express this to you in a dog form because I know not everybody out here does good business, but everybody out here want to have a good dog. Everybody that deal with these dogs have to want something, anything. I mean, you have to want something. Or papers wouldn't matter. Or the type of dog it was wouldn't matter. Just the fact that it's a bulldog. You know, that's not, you know, you can have just a bulldog. There's a lot of people that I know that have bulldogs. I mean, even my kids. They just have bulldogs because they grew up around that, and I got used to them. I just love bulldogs. Everybody wants to have a bulldog. Okay, my kids were raised up around them. You know, just like all other dogs, or why they have bulldogs, maybe because that's just what they fell in love with. They could go and play with the bulldogs when you couldn't really go play with the Rottweiler or the Doberman Pinscher or them, because, you know, two different types of dogs definitely got to handle you a different type of way when you're hanging around my kids. So, but their love for the dog is strictly because they love the dogs. And they get their dog, they love their dog. That's okay. I don't have no problem with people like that. But look at all the Facebook groups, and we got all the people around the world that love these dogs. This community is still big. This community should still have standards. This community still understand the quality and the purpose of an American Pit Bull Terrier for what it was actually bred for in the first place. The quality of the dog is never going to change because of the purpose of what it was bred for. To be an American Pit Bull Terrier, we can't change that. We can't. But the public interpretation and view of these dogs can be changed. And as I was reading, that was still a story from 1997. Still, and I think Tuesday I was showing you one. And then this conversation is never going to change as far as changing the perception. The perception is only going to change when you have more people in the American Pit Bull Terrier community doing the right thing and being successful at doing it the right way. So can't be back blaming the knuckleheads. It can't be sitting back blaming the old school. You can't keep blaming the basement. No, all that, take the blame game out of it and let's take it back to business. Everybody has a right to do business the way they choose to do business. That's why business is called what it is. It's called business to business. That's two individuals to a group of people, everybody coming together, and we're going to come to an agreement and we're going to handle it like that. Bad business is when that shit go bad. It's evident. It's just proven fact. Now, like in everything, certain things can drive the narrative. All right, take this election for instance. You might go over to Fox News and hear something totally different that you might hear totally different what NBC or CNN might be talking about, and it's the same event. Two different companies talking about the same event, but you're going to hear two different views. I'm trying to make this part simple. The news is only doing what it's doing. It's just giving you the news. But you notice why they sound different? Look at the audience they each have to play to. Look at the audience that they have to play to. That's the way this dog game works. Which one is playing closer down to what you believe in? Remember, when it all boils down to it, it's going to be based on your decisions that you make any damn way. Because that's how we have to look at the news. We choose to watch CNN or Fox. Nobody's making us go watch Fox. Nobody's going to make me go watch NBC. Nobody's going to make me watch CNN. No. I choose to watch who I want to watch. Nobody makes that choice for me. And I feel the same way about people who watches Fox. They should have the right to watch Fox. Remember the choices that we make. But because of those choices, it can also control the way you think. That's why I always felt better by just putting myself up here, right here, where I run shit. Because I never want anybody to feel like you got that kind of control over me. If I do something, I'm doing it because I want to do it, not because I'm being made or have to. So it makes it easier for me to accept things when they go bad and wrong. It's easier for me to understand I made a bad choice. That was my bus. But to my customer, there isn't that excuse because it's up to me to fix whatever it is. That's my responsibility. Because that's what type of businessman I am. Y'all catching on to this conversation right now? Is it really making sense? I know I try to make things keep it simple, stupid. You know, that's something my dad always said to me. You know, it took me a minute to figure out what he was, I want to make, dad calling me stupid. You know, you know what I'm saying. Keep it simple, stupid. And I'm like, okay. That used to make me mad because he used to say it. But got to remember, my dad was a hardcore person. He was a no-nonsense. He didn't believe in saying things over and over and over. But he always made it a point that he made things seem so much easier for me to do things compared to when I was trying to do things by reading a book. You know, in order to get my license, I had to read books. In order to get certified in certain things, I have to read books and take tests. That shit right there, that's one way of learning something, but it's not the best way of learning something. The best way of learning something was actually the way my dad was teaching me. Get me the tools and putting that shit in front of me and make me tear it apart and put it together until I knew where every single part did, every screw went, everything, regardless of who made it. I had the basic understanding. He's right. It's a refrigerator. It's made by Samsung, GE, Whirlpool, Maytag, man, it don't fucking matter. It's still a refrigerator. There's certain things that goes with being a refrigerator. Keep it simple, stupid. Got you. regardless of who made it, still a refrigerator. Certain things might be different, but it's still a damn refrigerator. Why can't I fix it? Give a damn how big it is. Could be a walk-in. Could be a whole damn computer room. Regardless of how complicated it might look. How many wires all over the place. I've always kept it simple. Always stupid. And see, it was the stupid part that brought me back into what he was meaning by stupid. Don't forget what you're working on, Mike. When you forget about what you're working on, you make it very complicated. If you keep it simple and remember what you're working on, it's going to get easy because now you understand in order to be this, it has to work this and it needs these things to work. That's how I got to be as good as I was because I really understood and drew, and I wouldn't care how many wires is in that panel when I open it. How many different components is in there when I open it. I don't panic because I know regardless if this is what this is what I need for this to work. And that's the way I try to get you guys to understand the simple part of this bulldog game, to where there should never be, but it always will be, but it should never be people who be getting burnt, used, conned out of some shit. Because the more that shit happens to you, that just kind of indicates your ability and your ability to actually learn, and your lack of knowledge, and your actual ability to not understand business. If I'm the president of the company and I got a vice president under me, and remember shit rolls downhill, and then he's the only one I got to worry about talking to. I don't have to worry about talking to nobody under him. Because everything under him ain't right, he's out of there. And then when the new man come in that I feel comfortable enough to go and fix up what this last person messed up, that means everything is under him, it's going to be some changes. And I don't have nothing to do with them changes. Nothing. Because I'm only responsible for that one man right there. And he don't have his shit together, then his ass will be out of there too. Keep it simple, stupid. Understand the conversation I'm trying to have with you. We're going to have less drama. We're going to have better dog men. But the first thing you're going to have to understand, you're going to have to learn before you move forward, is being able to understand the difference between the pro, professional, and the con, the artist. Because it exists in this game. But if you really want to be successful at what you do in this game, be truthful about it, be the best at it, have as much knowledge as you can, and it will make you worthy of somebody to be talked about. And generally, when people are worthy to be talked about, you can hate on them all you want, but generally when you're dealing with a person, you know what I mean, they got them kind of standards, you don't want to find yourself in a stupid ass looking situation when this man got something and you ain't got shit. But yet you over here talking shit about this man that's got something. How did that work? It don't. And coming from where I come from, you already know how I feel about that type of shit. Don't talk about it. You know, show me something. Show me something. That's what I'm going to make my decision on. I don't need CNN and Fox or ABC to tell me how to go in there and make my vote? If I don't do my research, are you trying to tell me I'm just going to rely on one news channel? A lot of people do. A lot of people believe for sure that in my home state of Ohio, that Haitian people was running around eating people's dogs and cats. And look at the frenzy that has brought. And I stay in Akron. I grew up in Akron. So I'm just trying to tell you, when I say Springfield, Akron is really bigger than Springfield, y'all. And to me, Akron is little. Akron is nowhere near the size of Columbus, Cincinnati, Toledo, Dayton. Nowhere close. Springfield, Massillon, Canton, them like little cities, man. And when you start talking about, the Haitians eating dogs and cats, and to hear people just ride with that, just amazing me to the point to where I'm actually sitting back and understand why we have so much confusion in this fucking dog game. Because the fact that people would actually believe that, and ain't nobody show nothing compared. I mean, when I say nothing, I mean, I'm talking about when you talk about people getting their dogs and their cats eaten. I want some damn people on there said, I had this big German Shepherd and, and he came up missing. And we found the body parts up in the Asian house where they did a ritual and ate my dog. I mean, can nobody show me something? But we'll tend to believe that bullshit just because somebody said it. How much do we hear that in this game? Just because somebody said it. One thing you're going to learn over here, gentlemen, over here. If we say it, we're going to damn near try to bring receipts based off of what we say and why we say what we say and stand on it and be ready to get on with it because we believe in what we're saying, because anything other than that, we don't have to say, don't even have to be bothered with. And if we do happen to make a mistake or have something wrong, which is we can do, we don't have no problem coming back, apologizing, or fixing the mistake. That is what good business does. You're not trying to be perfect. You're just trying to be fair and truthful. Because everybody who's spending their money deserves that. Anybody that's in this game, knowing the way this game is set up and what it's meant to do, and the responsibilities that comes, the big responsibility that comes with being the owner of an American Pit Bull Terrier, has every right to be treated and respected and dealt with on a truthful basis. And I just feel like that. Don't mean everybody be like that. But then I take that back, like I said, through experience and the ability to want to learn the knowledge along the way. Gonna make you a better businessman. Gonna make you a better dog man. Regardless of what you choose to do in this game. Y'all see where I'm coming from? So I need everybody to hit that damn like button. Forgive me. I just need everybody to hit that like button, first of all. I'm not, tonight I call it a short show because I'm not trying to be like Mo get off into them papers and y'all just be riding at 12, 1 o'clock. But I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. What I'm actually trying to do is I made a very short title today. The American Pit Bull Terrier, Pros and Cons. I'm not talking about the dog, though. I'm talking about the professional and the con artist. Do you have the ability to tell the difference between the two in this game of the American Pit Bull Terrier community? Do you have what it takes? Because if you do have what it takes, then we should have very little controversy. We should have very little drama. If the community was built off the things that makes a community a community. You know what makes your community a good community? Hey, neighbor. Hey, can my kids play with your kids? Yeah. Know the man way down the block, way around the corner? That community, the more you are in touch with your community, the better off the community is. You want to delete bullshit out the community? You have to first recognize when it's the bullshit and eliminate it. Or don't be a part of it. Again, I don't come on here telling people who to go, room to go in and out of, and who to support and all that bullshit. To me, it sounds crazy. I mean, I'm a grown ass man. I'm 60-some years old. You sound like a damn fool to tell me who I can talk to and who I can't. Are you crazy? I don't have nobody in my regular life that could tell me no shit like that, maybe except for my wife. Ain't nobody telling me to come in at 9 o'clock. I need you here at this time, that time. You're going to make sure you're there at this time, that time. And I'll be there when I get there. But I understand my responsibilities and my roles. And that's all I try to get you guys to understand, whether you're new to the game or you old to the game. If I got my old schoolers out there, and I got my professional people that's out there, they know what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure ain't none of them knocking a damn thing that I'm saying, because if I'm not telling you anything except for what is the fact. And the fact is, if you do business, there are certain things that you have to understand when you're doing business. Give a damn what type of business it is. I wouldn't give a damn if you were selling nothing but some damn marbles. Business is a word that does have a meaning. And it also has structure. So that is not up for debate, gentlemen. What's up to debate is how you take care of your business. All right, now we can go back and forth, you know what I'm saying, about that. But then that's just a matter of opinion. But in the long run, even based on that, your performance of how you run your business and how you take care of your business is always going to represent who you are as a person and your business anyway. So in the long run, I don't have to sit there and tell you about your shit. You can be, your record will speak for itself. It will. And if you sit back and notice, that's why it's so easy for us, because we understand that. And as long as we understand that, it's easy to decimate people who don't. Never be afraid of failure. Never. Why? Because you can't tell me that at some point in trying to be successful in life that you didn't fail at something. There's no way you're going to convince me that you went your whole entire life and you are perfect. They told me even Jesus was the only perfect person in the world. Well, I even doubt that sometimes. Because, I mean, think about it. If Jesus was all that perfect, where did they get him but dead? Is that supposed to be the moral of the story? I'm a religious person. And I don't use that to be out there knocking anybody. I'm just saying I believe in God. And that's it. Anything in between, I don't know how to take that, because I don't want to say that any and everybody's religion is wrong. But I know one thing that you can't deny, and that is the fact that there's something out there, and I believe that's what that God thing is, you know what I mean? And I'll roll with that, so I don't have to be all over the place, because all of us believe in God. You know? So I'd rather roll out with that one and have that type of belief than to get caught up in other drama that comes with Catholic, Pentecostals, Christian, Baptist, you know, all these different versions for just, you know, woof. You know what I'm saying? I mean, imagine that. You know, I just try to bring y'all back to focus on understanding how you start drama. You know what I'm saying? How to be successful dealing with these dogs. You know, Mo tell you everything else when it comes down to the breeding and all that other shit. He's really telling, he's showing you, and he's showing you not just based off of what we done, but based off, we tell you, we copycat off a bunch of people. And if they wasn't worthy of talking about, we wouldn't be talking about them. After 2 years, has that really changed? No. It hasn't. That's why I talk the business part, because that's the part that when I go on Facebook, and I go and see all the things that I see, and understanding what I'm looking at, it's kind of like, okay, if I was a newbie in the game, you know, it's just terrible. Because look, it's okay to say the things, some of the things they say, which means it's okay to do some of the things you do. It's okay to just take people's money and be like, it's okay. I ain't from that life. I mean, I'm not from that world. I never thought it, and nothing that I've ever done in life when it came down to business, that it's okay to take shit from me. Take? Oh no. We have a problem. I feel like there's things in place, even in the laws today. If you feel like you have been abused or somebody did something wrong, it's called civil court, and I can go sue you for your wrong deeds. Make you pay. I mean, and that's in the legitimacy of the law. There has something in place. It's called civil court. Some civil matters actually can lead to criminal matters, as you know. And that's the legal term of the discussion I'm having. Streetwise, you took something from me. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the money. It's about the purpose. You know what I'm saying? Can't be about the money. I can always get the money back. The fact was, I gave you something and you didn't do the right thing by it. And thought that was going to be okay, but it's not okay. How we going to fix this? Because you don't want me to be fixing your problem that you have with me. You better be trying to fix your problem with me without me. I know how that works. So, understand the simple part, and I'll say what my dad say, keep it simple, stupid. And don't take it like I'm calling you stupid. Remember how I told you where the stupid part came in. The stupid always brought you back to the reality of that one thing. What the hell is a refrigerator? That's like, what's my name? I'm not that stupid that I don't know my name. I'm not that stupid that I don't know what a refrigerator, washer, dryer, air conditioning, heating, oven, commercial, residential, chiller. I've been in this business too long not to know what each one of them things are. So the stupid always brought me back to keep it simple. When I open up that panel and see wires all over the damn place. I'm stupid because it's something I ain't never seen before. But I go back and let simple save me. All right, what am I working on? Okay, this is a chiller. All right. Let me get this shit situated, see which way these wires is running, and find out what it ain't doing. That's experience. That's what I want y'all to take from this conversation tonight. The easy way, and I'm talking to grown folks. So just with that thought in mind, I'm taking it like if you never, even if you're working 9 to 5, that's okay. Because any and everything that I'm telling you will always help you in life to succeed. Regardless of what it is. Actually help you up the ladder. If you stick to the things that works when you're at the top of your own totem pole. Because even up here, don't mean you can treat people the way you want to treat them or you're going to fall sooner or later. Ask Diddy. I thought I'd throw that out there. You know it is people running for the hills behind this Diddy dude. You know what I'm saying? But it's that type of shit. Money don't always mean that you doing right. You know? Remember when you messed up with that deal with Ciroc, look how I knew. When you bite the hand that feeds you, they're going to come get you. And that's what you look. Anybody who knows the story, it ain't been, 4, 5, 6 months since that deal fell through with the Ciroc situation, the people down there, and look where he at. I'm just saying, this business game, it ain't, the higher you get, the more treacherous you get. The more money you deal with, the more headaches you're going to have. But we down here talking about some damn bulldogs. That's where I'm at. This is not that complicated. The bulldog is always going to be the product. The product does come with a service manual. I call it service manual the pedigree. I understand now how to read the damn pedigree. I understand I'd be able to have a better idea to understand my damn product. Come on, man. How much simpler can that be? If I choose to sell my dog for $10,000, that's my damn product. Give a damn, you ain't got to buy it. So what you hating on it for? You ain't got to buy it. But you can best believe if that product right and somebody is really about that life and they know you got the right product, it ain't nothing for them to go out and buy that, spend that $10,000 on a good product. And I'm just telling you because it happens every day. The only reason anybody would hate on that because they can't do it. And that's how I feel about it. Now, before I get up out of here, I need y'all to help me out. Hey, Mo, get well soon, bro. I got this. Hopefully we'll see him back Tuesday. And then his son's in town too, so when the family members start coming in, kids start coming to check on dad. It's time to check on dad. But look here, I need y'all to do me a favor. If you like the conversation I had today, and you at least got something out of it, you know what I'm saying? Give me some thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Muscles, muscles, muscles. Now for me, being the man I am, I need my damn roses. Roses. I need my damn roses. Show me some love, man. And look, don't forget to hit the damn like button. Now, as I close out tonight, I need everybody to understand that, this dog game has always been about business. Regardless of how people might look at it, and interpret it, it's your own individual business. You get up and take care of it. You know, you got your family, and then you got your dogs, and then you got your work. Anytime something falls, you know, dogs fall into that everyday living part, so it's a part of who you are. I know what that's like. Mo know what that's like. We try to share that with you. So you're not out there on that boat by yourself. We used to be them people. We trying to get y'all to understand that, hey, look, who else is out there trying to tell you this and this and this and this and this and that and all of these other things? Well, there might be a lot of damn people. I ain't here to knock on that door. I'm here to make sure that we did our part. Remember? We never get away from our mission statement. And what was our mission statement? Our mission statement really consists of, we're never going to let you forget about the people in our past. Every time we get a chance to bring them up, every time we get a chance to show you their work, the success of their work and how they got to do the things that they did and how we got to where we were, we're always going to show homage to them. And in the process of showing our homage, we have to be able to do as they say do, and that is to pass it forward. In the process of passing it forward, they didn't have to lie to us. They didn't even have to tell us. They didn't even have to share that with us. They didn't have to even spend time with us. But because they did that, all you ask us to do is to pass it forward. And all I say is, when we sat in this chair, we wanted to give it to you straight off who we are. This is how we do shit. No bullshit. Coming right at it. Might not like it, but we ain't asking you to like it, because it meant for everybody. It's meant for the ones who's ready to take what's actually being given to you and take full responsibility for what's given to you and make that shit work. Because it will. How do we know? Because it worked for us. It worked for people that went beyond us, and it worked for the damn people who taught us. And if you're passing it forward, it better keep on, damn it, working. Which means you don't have to cheat nobody. Your goal is to be able to produce the best product you can produce and put it on the market. You don't have to talk for your product. Your product will speak for itself. Y'all see what I'm saying? Now, enjoy the weekend. Show me some love. Show me a little bit of love. You know, I like to see them thumbs. Big shout out to my man, Viking World Founder. I see you, fam. MB45. Special love. All right, money. Mo. I hear you, baby. I got it. I ain't told you, boy. I got it. I see you in the chat. You all right, man? I told you, I got it, man. I got it. You just relax. Let me take care. Because, you know, Mo, these kind of conversations, Mo don't be wanting. Mo be like, man, because there's no need to have these kind of conversations with Mo, because Mo my brother. God damn it. We grew up under the same father. So one damn thing between me and him, we got something that most of y'all don't really have, and that is a business relationship, because we have a brotherly relationship. We've been through that part to where if we're gonna have the upper hand on anybody, two heads is always gonna be there than one. And if you got two bad motherfuckers, you got hell on your hands when it comes to any damn thing. So that's us. That's who we are. That's Going Hard Kennels Reloaded. That's why we can talk about the shit we can talk about. And then guess what? We don't even have to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because we already can show you we was about it. You know what I mean? So always remember, don't talk about it, be about it. When you're going to show up, don't forget to show out. And another thing, we always, I'm stamped on that, we always, you see it, S2W. Shark Tank, Going Hard. We always scratch the wind. Always. 10 toes down. Give a damn how corny it might sound. You better add a little bit of that spice. That's that special sauce. You add that little special sauce on your life and really take hold of what it really truly means. Really truly mean. You'll find out you're a bad man. Until Tuesday, man. Y'all stay safe. Hey, Mo, I'll be to see you, man. Y'all stay honest, truthful, loyal to the game, and it will be the same back to you. Let me get this music started so we can get out of here. I don't get this opportunity much, but the dog in the night is me. GHK going hard, twin one in the hills. Appreciate the love. Until Tuesday, I'm out. Peace. Moving over there.